Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. At least 2 people killed as 3 communities come under attack by suspected ISWAP members in Shiroro Council of Niger State as the Nigeria Air Force deploys newly acquired fighter helicopters to Niger and Kaduna State. Ordnance disposal building located at the old secretariat in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, reduced to rubble as devices explode, leaving some other government structures damaged. Police in Ondo State promised to reassess and beef up security as residents of Ile-Oluji narrate Thursday's deadly robbery of 2 commercial banks in the town. And soldier goes on rampage in Thailand, killing at least 20 people, injuring dozens more. That's our stories on business and sports. Our website, channelstv.com, has more information on our top stories and others. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, and Roku. Let's now take a look at the effect of the restriction on the daily lives of Lagos residents, this time at the Ikorodu axis of the state. Channels Television visited some parts in Ikorodu local government area to monitor the level of compliance by tricycle and bike operators. The operators complain that there's been a reduction in their daily sales.
Some commuters and motorists in Ikorodu, an expanding industrial and residential area on the outskirts of Lagos State, may now heave a sigh of relief as sanity is gradually being restored to the roads. This is mainly due to the compliance by commercial, motorcycle and tricycle operators since the enforcement of the motorcycle restriction in Lagos State commenced. The presence of law enforcement agents says a lot, as tricycle and motorcycle operators within the inner routes cannot move past this spot, which is a link to the expressway. Some operators, however, lament a drop in their daily earnings.
We have been making about 2,500 or 3,000, but where they came up now, the population over increased. So definitely we are not even making anything. And along the line now, police here, they are intimidating us. At times you see the illegal, they hold bike, go up 10,000, go up 20,000 naira, on top of what we are making. At the end of the day, we can't even achieve anything. All rather to bring our children to a school or to pay their school fees.
Residents have also been subjected to a hectic time getting to their destinations.
The so-called BRT is not enough, because when you get to BRT terminal, you spend 2 to 3 hours before you can get to a bus to your destination. And these people have been serving as an alternative to us, to get to our place on time, so that the going there late or missing your appointment will not be there. But now that they have banned them, in fact, a lot of people are suffering, most especially here in Ikorodu.
The new directive, which took effect from February the 1st, bans commercial motorcycles and tricycles from plying major highways and select roads in 15 councils of the state.
And local government administration is the 3rd tier of government in Nigeria and the closest to the people, but it seems not to be performing its constitutional duties. For many Nigerians, local government administration has been relegated to the background. Our next report examines the role of the local council administration in Nigeria and the agitation for autonomy in light of the current efforts by federal lawmakers in this regard.
Local government administration has been in existence in Nigeria since 1972, with the primary aim of bringing government nearer to the people at the grassroots. The country has 774 local government areas, each administered by a local government council headed by a chairman. For some time now, there has been persistent clamor for the autonomy of councils as the 3rd tier of governance in the Federation. In pursuit of this objective, the The Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, in collaboration with the Nigerian Labour Congress, organized peaceful rallies across the country in 2017. But Article 7 of the 1999 Constitution empowers state governments to enact legislation with regard to the establishment, structure, composition and functions of democratically elected councils. The fourth schedule also assigns some critical functions to local governments. So, how can autonomy for the local governments be achieved?
You cannot solve a problem by creating another problem, because if you take away, the influence of the state governments on the local governments from the states, and you are now taking it back to the federal government, it means you are not solving problem. It means also that it is the federal government that will now be the ones to be controlling what happens at the local government, because INEC is under the federal government, the allocation is coming from the federal government, and so many things like that.
Although lack of autonomy is considered a problem to the proper running of the local government system, some are of the view that corruption at the level is a bigger challenge.
The local government chairmen of various, the 774 local government chairmen were oppressing the teachers.
The councils are expected to provide and manage some social infrastructure such as roads, public markets, healthcare facilities, motor parks, primary schools and portable water, among others.
There is no enough money, and we monitor them that the little they have, we must get value for it.
In a move many say could end the agitations, a bill to provide for local government autonomy has passed through second reading in the House of Representatives.
The intention of the bill is to bring good governance across the country.
Local government administration is considered a catalyst in rural transformation as it addresses the primary needs of the people at the grassroots. There is therefore the need for both the federal and state legislatures to work together in ending the acrimony between the state and local governments to ensure the objectives of creating the third tier of government is achieved.
Joining us live from our Kano studio for more on local government autonomy agitation is Professor Saidu Dukawa of Political Science Department, Bayero University, Kano. We'd like to welcome you. Thank you for joining us on the news at 10. I must begin by saying that local government autonomy is not new to many Nigerians. Even the 8th National Assembly passed the Local Government Autonomy Bill, but that did not scale through the state's assemblies. Can you tell us how this can be achieved, how we can move past that?
Ideally speaking, the local government autonomy can easily be achieved by strict adherence to the constitutional provision. You see, Section 7 of the Constitution of Nigeria has provided 3 things which, if complied by, the local government autonomy can easily be achieved. Number 1 is that local government councils should be constituted by elected representatives of the people. So there is nothing like caretaker committees, which some governors are doing. So by the time you have credible elections that are free and fair in local government, then you are likely to find different political parties forming the local government. And the tendency of a governor kicking them around collectively will be minimized very much. The second aspect is the financing of the local governments. The Constitution provides that the National Assembly should legislate on how the federal government will fund the local governments. And respective state houses of assembly should legislate on how the respective states can fund their local governments. So even if the states do not give local governments finances, so long as the governors will respect what the National Assembly legislates regarding what comes from the center, then you are likely to see the kind of autonomy that people are looking for. And there is this third aspect which is not talked about as far as the discourse on autonomy of local government is concerned. And that is that same Section 7 provides that each state should have a state economic development board, and that each local government of the state should be represented on that board. But I don't know of any state which has established that board. And if it were established, then you will see that even budgets cannot be done without the representation of local governments. And so long the local governments are represented in planning budgets and other development projects, then they will be represented. Therefore, whether money comes to them directly or it doesn't, so long as projects are carried out in their local governments, the kind of development that Nigerians are urging to eager to see in the local areas would be visible. But unfortunately, most state governments have refused to do that. So perhaps my own suggestion on how to achieve that is to place conditionalities before releasing federal subventions, either on quarterly basis or on biannual basis, such that local government should be inspected to see what they have done or what has been done with the money given to them.
Actually, accountability and also enforcing all of the three measures you suggested, but also looking at the second one. The 1999 Constitution recognizes the 774 local government areas. However, statutory allocation under the current sharing formula allocates about 20+% to the local government. Do you think the percentage is good enough?
The percentage is sufficient enough. It's sufficient enough, but the problem is it doesn't go to them. It hangs around in the state, and the state governors are doing things which are not necessarily in the interest of the local government. So this is and that's why I'm suggesting that no state government should be given the money, or even the local government none of them should be given federal subventions unless and until they account for what they did with the earlier amount given to them. Now, by the time you do that, you will see that there will be a competition to conduct projects in the local areas. And any state that refuses to do that, it means it is risking its share of the local governments from the federal account.
All right. I guess this also means that we hope that the bill becomes law for us to see all of the changes that we need on that level. We'd like to thank you, Professor Saidu Dukawa of Political Science Department, Bayero University, Kano. Thank you for talking to us.
You're welcome.
When the news at 10 returns, Central Bank of Nigeria invites applications from recycling companies to turn paper banknotes waste into usable products. That's on Business News. Please join us again.